350 years and more, ships came sailing to the shore. From the Cape to every nation, building one long conversation. But somewhere down the road it seems politics got lost in dreams. Borders blurred and tempers frayed, promises began to fade. Streetlights flicker, people sigh, costs keep climbing to the sky. Someone always gets the blame, different face but same old game. Oh, hear the people shout, looking for somebody to throw out. Oh, but history knows everybody's neighbor when the wind still blows. Cyril finds Africa, dancing to a brand new map. Nigeria, Ghana too. Hey, my friends, remember you. Cyril finds Africa, suddenly it's fabulous. Mozambique and Malawi call. Welcome back, we've missed you all. Oh, Africa, Africa. Markets buzzing, taxis roll, every nation plays a role. Chasing work and chasing dreams, life is never what it seems. Angry voices fill the night, claiming someone stole their right. Jobs and houses, food and land, problems nobody had planned. Yet the hardship and the strain often fall on those with names from across the borderline, trying simply to survive. Oh, the headlines spin, pointing fingers once again. Oh, but can't we see the problem's always bigger than them and me? Cyril finds Africa, dancing to a brand new map. Accra, Lagos, Maputo, tell us where you've been, old beau. Cyril finds Africa, now it's all vernacular. Handshakes, flying wall to wall, like he never left it all. Oh, Africa, Africa. Ubuntu, where did you go? Lost beneath the status quo. Every nation, every tribe, trying hard just to survive. Round and round the wheel still turns, some lessons that everybody learns. If we're stronger side by side, there's no reason left to hide. Whip your hands up high, we're all under the same sky. From the coast to the savannah, from Johannesburg to Ghana. Let the music carry on, sing it till the break of dawn. Everybody join the line, the continent will be just fine. Cyril finds Africa, dancing to a brand new map. From the Cape to Timbuktu, meeting folks he always knew. Cyril finds Africa, everybody laugh, a late arrival to the ball, but at least he came at all. Africa, Africa. 350 years and more, stories washing to the shore. Round and round the seasons spin, maybe now the dance begins. Africa, hey, hey, Africa. Cyril finds Africa, hey, 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 Africa.
Yeah, Cyril finds Africa. Okay, what's going on here? No camera. That's why. Still going over there. There you go. And that stuff. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Camera was not there. Let's turn it back on now. There we go. Welcome back. President Cyril Ramaphosa due to speak here in just a couple of minutes, and he never is on time, so no chance on that being on time for once. Not interested in his lies. He'll be late as usual. Exactly. That's exactly right. He will arrive late, so let's see what happens. Hopefully he'll rock up here shortly. But he's always late, so we're expecting to be late. But Cyril finds Africa. You know, folks, we've said this many times, but I think stupid people should wear signs. You know what I'm saying? They should just wear signs. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so we'll see what Cyril has to say. Coming up here shortly in just a few moments, the presidency has 43,000 subscribers now, and they're actually broadcasting it. SABC broadcasting it. There are about 500 people waiting there. There are more people watching Ronaldo Khus right now than there are watching SABC. Now, that'll change once it gets started. Enjoyed a video last night about the warning for June 20th, 21st. No, it's June 30th, I think it is. But yeah, I will be making more videos about that coming up shortly. Oh, now it says 1,000 people watching the presidency. And it's not showing me Ronaldo's stream anymore. Oh, there it is. 1,500. Oh, Ronaldo's got 1,500 people watching it. Wow. Cool beans for him. All right, so cool. We are one Africa, except the minorities originate from here. Okay, so thank you all for the memberships that just got given out there. The alert box is turned off, so it's not interfering with this. Thanks to 350 people currently here. It's a pleasure to have you join me. So Ramaphosa is going to deny that South Africa is xenophobic. He's going to say that black Africans are treated with respect. And he is going to say that he is sending his envoys all over the continent to reassure Africans that their nationals will not be mistreated in South Africa. But that is not the story on the ground. The threats that are emanating, the lack of police preparedness. Right now, police crime intelligence should be infiltrating, if they haven't already infiltrated, networks of the troublemakers who are threatening foreign nationals. Now, if they're illegal, they're illegal. But that doesn't give them the right to threaten anyone else. It doesn't give anyone the right to threaten anyone else. It does not. It certainly doesn't give anyone the right to attack anyone else or to burn their lodging or to burn their tuck shops or their spas, which is what's been happening. What the shameful mistreatment of Africans in South Africa is ridiculous. Of course, he will blame, that's right, he will blame the spatial dispensation of apartheid. That's what's coming up. You can pretty much guarantee that's what's going to happen. It's now scheduled for 12:15, so he's already delayed us by 15 minutes. Ramaphosa will not be here for 15 minutes, folks. Yep. So I'm looking to see, before we get to Ramaphosa, I want to make sure that I've got the small camera going here, because, hang on a second, just bear with me for a second, because I had a lot of changes here because the stuff wasn't working properly. So I'm looking for my small camera. I know I'm not on screen right now, so just hang on there. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Okay. Is this the one? There it is. Okay, good. But that's not where I need it to be, so I need to bring that down here. Okay, so the problem is that this is supposed to do both at the same time, but it doesn't do that anymore. So yeah, I've turned on the other camera, and it's not cooperating. So let me go back and turn that off. And now, oh, here he comes. He's actually on time.
Address you this evening on a matter that concerns many South Africans. Over recent months, South Africans from every walk of life have raised concerns about migration and illegal immigration. These concerns are being expressed in our communities, our workplaces, our schools, our clinics, and across social media platforms. Many South Africans are asking difficult but legitimate questions. They are asking whether our borders are secure. They are concerned about jobs. South Africans are raising these matters because they are concerned about the pressure on our public services as well. They are concerned about safety, security, and the rule of law. These concerns are real. They deserve to be heard, and they deserve to be addressed. South Africans are asking whether government is taking the necessary steps to address these challenges. Tonight, I want to address these concerns. I want to explain what government is doing and is going to do to address them. And I want to outline the principles that must guide us as we confront this challenge together. We must be honest about the context in which these concerns arise.
Indeed.
South Africa faces persistently high levels of unemployment. Because the ANC. Especially amongst our young people.
Because the ANC.
Too many families are struggling to make ends meet.
Because of socialism.
The cost of living is very high for many of the people of South Africa.
Because of BE.
Too many communities are experiencing poverty and inadequate access to opportunities.
Which you've denied them.
In such circumstances, frustration can easily be directed at those who are perceived to be competitors for jobs and resources.
Caters.
Yet we must recognize that illegal immigration is not the cause of all our economic challenges.
No, the ANC is.
There are other causes.
The ANC.
The answer must be faster economic growth, greater investment, industrial expansion, infrastructure development, and the creation of millions of new jobs.
All things that dissipate under the ANC.
Precisely the issues that our government is working on.
No, you're not.
We know that migration is a global issue. It affects many countries around the world. Our country, like many others throughout history, is a product of migration.
The Bantu.
It is the reason for our diversity and contributes to our vibrancy. As a democracy, we have welcomed visitors to our country. In line with our international obligations on the issue of migration and our constitutional values, we accept people from other countries who are in need of protection from wars, conflicts, discrimination, and violence.
But you interfere with the U.S. refugee program.
Like every other country in the world, we have laws that determine who can come to our country, South Africa,
But you don't enforce them.
and what they can do whilst they are here, and how long they can stay. Our laws are very clear on this. The basic principle on which we all agree is that every person within the borders of South Africa should be here legally.
Agreed. Now that I agree.
Illegally.
I agree with them 100%.
Every person who works in our country must be legally permitted to work here.
Agreed 100%.
Every person who runs a business here must be legally permitted to run such a business.
Agreed.
The challenge we have is that some people have migrated to our country irregularly
Millions.
and are here illegally.
Millions.
South Africa has a right to implement policies and measures that prevent irregular migration.
But Trump doesn't, according to you.
Our country is committed to protect, uphold, and advance the human rights of all people in our country,
If that were true.
whether they are citizens or foreign nationals. We are committed to honor our international obligations that deal with matters of migration.
Then stop interfering with our refugee program.
The responsibility for enforcing immigration laws rests with the state and the state alone.
I agree.
There have been weaknesses in the way migration has been managed.
Because
in
you've
our
been busy stealing money and not focusing
There
on
have
it.
been weaknesses in rigorous and focused enforcement. We admit that. And there have been weaknesses of corruption. There have been gaps in our systems that have undermined public confidence. South Africans are entitled to expect better. We accept that responsibility, and we are taking decisive action to correct these shortcomings. South Africans have a right to expect a state that is effective, professional, and capable of enforcing its laws. Government will accordingly take action to address the expectations of our people in dealing with the challenge of the violations of our immigration laws. I must make it clear that only the authorized government officials may act against violations of the law, including violations of our immigration laws. No other person is allowed, for example, to confront someone in the street, in the pathways of our country, to demand proof of identity.
People are also allowed to invade farms and torture
We know
people.
that South Africans are not xenophobic.
But they do.
Because there is no space for xenophobia,
It's all over the country.
racism,
It's all over the
for
country.
sexism, for Afrophobia,
Ah!
or any other form of intolerance in South Africa. As communities and as a society, we must not be tempted to join those who want us to turn against people who were not born in South Africa and who are in our midst. We will and must not allow groups to use the legitimate concerns of South Africans to destabilize our country through inciting lawlessness and violence. We will act against forces who are exploiting the concerns of our people about illegal immigration to further their own political, personal, and criminal agendas. We will not be fooled or influenced by social media campaigns that spread misinformation, fake news, and lies about people who are in our country. We must be concerned that anti-foreigner sentiment is at times accompanied by tribal and ethnic slurs, insults, and attacks aimed at other South Africans. This is not acceptable.
Well, it's about time he said something.
We expect foreign nationals who are here to respect our laws.
Of course we do.
We therefore need to respect them as well. But they must respect the laws of our country. Almost all South Africans recognize that illegal immigration is a significant challenge. Illegal migration, if unchecked, poses a risk to South Africa's security, stability, as well as our economic progress. We know that illegal migration affects service delivery and places additional burdens on essential services such as healthcare and education. Illegal migration routes increasingly overlap with organized crime. Criminal syndicates involved in trafficking, extortion, illegal mining, drugs, and money laundering often use undocumented migration for recruitment and concealment of goods. We know that illegal immigration undermines our efforts to create decent work for our people. There are businesses in our country that employ undocumented immigrants because their legal status means that they cannot stand up for their own rights. Some employers hire undocumented immigrants because they pay them wages that are well below our minimum wage.
Yeah, well, I've been saying this for years.
Work longer hours without due compensation.
But you've been calling us racist for saying the same thing.
We
you
have
deuce.
uncovered a number of workplaces where undocumented migrants are made to labor under very bad conditions. Employers who hire undocumented workers and exploit their vulnerability are breaking the law.
Yes, as they do in America.
They undermine our labor laws and standards. They undermine
wages,
their competition. And they undermine opportunities for South Africans. Such conduct will attract far stronger penalties
No, it won't.
and far stricter enforcement.
Just a couple big, camera
Many
moments.
communities have expressed anger about the number of foreign nationals running spaza shops, trading stores, and other informal outlets. They argue that foreign enterprises are squeezing South Africans from operating in these markets in their own communities. These concerns cannot and must not be dismissed. Many South Africans feel excluded from opportunities within their own communities. Government has a responsibility to support local enterprise, to promote fair competition, and to create conditions in which South Africans can participate meaningfully in the economy of our country. As a country, as communities, and as a continent, we need to work together.
This guy's a
In
hypocrite.
accordance with our Constitution, our laws, and our international obligations to tackle illegal immigration.
Then stop raiding our sites.
And we must do so without resorting to violence, intimidation, or victimization. Following the announcements that I made during the State of the Nation address in February, government is taking further decisive action to tackle illegal immigration. Last week, Cabinet adopted a comprehensive approach to migration management.
And nothing will be enforced.
This approach has been endorsed by the President's Coordinating Council.
That's a self-licking lollipop.
Our MECs and
all A and
representatives
C.
from local government.
All A and C.
And the mayors of our metropolitan cities.
Self-licking lollipop.
As well as representatives of the National House of Traditional and Khoisan leaders. This evening, I would like to share with you the key actions we are taking.
Yeah, let's hear
As
it.
government, our objective is very clear.
Yeah, really.
We want a South Africa where every person who enters the borders of our country does so lawfully.
That'd be nice.
We want a South Africa where immigration laws are respected and enforced. A South Africa where businesses compete fairly. A South Africa where communities feel safe and secure. And a South Africa that remains true to its constitutional values and its commitment to human dignity. We intend to achieve this objective by implementing the following measures, amongst others. Firstly, we are and will continue to crack down on the violation of our immigration, labor, and other laws. Secondly, we will continue to prevent people from entering the country irregularly and illegally. Thirdly, we are and will continue to stamp out corruption in our immigration system.
No, you won't.
We will strengthen our immigration laws and policies.
The laws
Finally,
are fine, just apply them.
we will continue to engage other countries, including our sister countries on the African continent, to forge a broader response to migration challenges across our region and the continent. The first part of our response is a concerted crackdown on violations of existing immigration, labor, and other laws. The Department of Home Affairs, the Border Management Authority, the South African Police Service, and other law enforcement agencies have been and will intensify the process of identifying and deporting undocumented foreign nationals residing illegally in South Africa.
Does that make you a racist like Trump?
In the past year alone, the Border Management Authority managed to intercept and stop over 450,000 people who were attempting to enter South Africa illegally. We will set up dedicated courts to deal with immigration, to speedily support the deportation of undocumented migrants. The South African Police Service, Home Affairs, and the Department of Employment and Labor are increasing inspections, targeting companies employing undocumented foreign nationals. As part of rebuilding labor enforcement capacity, the Department of Employment and Labor has launched the phased recruitment of 10,000 inspectors for this financial year, as I announced during the State of the Nation address. We're going to increase the penalties, including imprisonment, for employers who violate our Immigration Act. We cannot have a situation where employers who, after being charged and found guilty of violating our laws, merely pay a fine and continue employing undocumented foreign nationals.
Well, then where are you going to get the money? Where are you going to get the money then?
To address violations of immigration and labor laws in the transport sector, we are implementing a plan that has been developed with the logistics and freight industry, as well as our labor organizations. The second part of our response is to secure our borders. Every sovereign nation has a responsibility to know who enters its territory,
Not according to Ronald Mullen.
why they are entering, and how long they are permitted to stay. Secure borders are not a sign of hostility towards other countries. They are a fundamental requirement of a sovereign and well-governed state. Accordingly, we are taking further measures to secure our borders. We will therefore continue to invest in modern technology, infrastructure, and personnel to ensure that our borders are secure while facilitating legitimate trade, travel, and economic activity. We will undertake a phased relocation of refugee reception centers to border posts, starting with Tshwane Center this current year. Many other countries have refugee reception centers that are close to the place where refugees enter the country seeking asylum or refuge. The relocation of refugee reception centers closer to our borders is intended to ensure that asylum applications are processed more efficiently, more securely, and more fairly. This
Right.
will enable government to determine protection needs at the point of entry to ensure that those who genuinely require protection receive assistance as quickly as possible.
Which is virtually none of them.
The third part of our response will be to continue strengthening our immigration system by stamping out corruption and deploying cutting-edge technology. We are continuing the crackdown on corruption and inefficiencies in the Department of Home Affairs. We must recognize that illegal immigration is often enabled by corruption. Officials who sell documents, facilitate unlawful entry, or abuse public office for personal gain betray the trust of the people of
So
South Africa.
ANC politicians.
We will pursue these cases relentlessly.
Let's start with Pala Pala.
Those responsible are facing dismissal, criminal prosecution, and the full consequences of the law.
But not Pala Pala.
We are establishing an intelligent population register that contains biometric data for every person in the country, laying the foundation for a digital ID for all of us. At the same time, we will progressively discontinue the green ID books that we have, which have enabled identity theft by undocumented immigrants and criminal syndicates. The Department of Home Affairs will set a date after which the green ID books will no longer be recognized.
Well, we've been hearing that for 10 years.
We will end the abuse of the traffic registration number system, which a number of foreign nationals require to register or buy vehicles in our country, which currently is being used as a form of identification by many.
Don't accept
The
it then.
Department of Transport will issue new regulations to align with the identification laws of our country within the next 3 months. The fourth part of our response is to close the gaps in our laws and policies. The laws that regulate immigration in our country are fragmented and often contradictory. They allow legal loopholes that are exploited by undocumented migrants. We are addressing these loopholes. Government has finalized the National Labour Migration Policy, which proposes maximum quotas for the employment of documented foreign nationals and deals with the prosecutions of employers hiring undocumented workers.
Yeah, right.
The Employment Services Amendment Bill has been approved by Cabinet for introduction to Parliament. This will empower the Minister to set quotas in respect of the employment of foreign nationals in any economic sector or occupational category. The Department of Small Business Development, working with the South African Local Government Association, SALGA, will complete the process of ensuring small and informal businesses are properly registered.
Yeah.
It will also provide support for South African informal businesses through the Spaza Shop Fund.
Sponsorship fund.
The final part of our response is to work with other countries in our region and across the continent to address the broader challenge of migration. We need to address the factors that drive migration on our continent and elsewhere. South Africa cannot address migration challenges alone. Migration is a continental and a global phenomenon.
Yeah, well, stay home.
South Africa's future is inseparable from the future of our African continent.
Is it now?
Migration pressures cannot be addressed through enforcement measures alone. They require peace where there is conflict, economic growth where there is stagnation, and opportunity where there is poverty. As South Africa, we will continue working with our sister countries to build an Africa in which people move by choice and not by desperation. Through SADC, the African Union, and our bilateral relations with other countries, we will seek to find sustainable solutions to these challenges. As part of this effort, I will be sending envoys to a number of sister African countries to outline the measures that we are announcing this evening and to deal comprehensively with the issue of migration in cooperation with those countries.
Yeah.
Cabinet will remain seized with this matter and will regularly review progress in implementing these measures. The Interministerial Committee on Migration will coordinate government's response across departments and spheres of government. Our net joints and the provincial net joint structures
Could have just
have been
published a
directed
press
to
release.
strengthen coordination among law enforcement, intelligence, and security agencies to ensure effective implementation. Fellow South Africans, as we work to tackle the problem of illegal immigration, we are determined that we will not allow anyone to exploit this problem to destabilize our country. Our law enforcement agencies and security services, working together with other state entities and key stakeholders, are ready to act to protect the Republic, public safety, maintain law and order, and safeguard critical infrastructure. The challenges we have recently introduced to our immigration laws, rather the changes that we have recently introduced to our immigration laws, as well as the regulations that we've introduced, will allow us to attract tourists, highly skilled global talent, and investment through lawful channels.
Yeah, right.
We must also remember that many of our people travel to other countries to study, to work, and to gain experience. Many come home with valuable skills and expertise
Most
that
stay
they have
abroad.
gained from other countries,
Most stay abroad.
with a wider view of the world and in a better position to improve their lives and those of their families and increase the prosperity of our country. Migration is the way of the world, and we must be prepared to embrace it. South Africa is a better country for migration, and we can become better still. But that means our laws need to be strengthened and enforced. It means that we must end illegal immigration and deal with the social, economic, and security challenges to which it contributes. We must not allow ourselves to turn against foreign nationals and each other as South Africans. We must all respect the Constitution of our country, uphold the basic human rights of all people, and consistently uphold the law of our land. We reject the notion that we must tolerate illegal immigration. We can protect our borders while protecting human dignity. We can enforce our laws while upholding our Constitution. We can secure our communities while preserving the values of Ubuntu that define us as a people.
Doesn't define you, it's a bumper sticker.
Like many challenges that we have faced before, we can overcome the problem of illegal immigration. South Africa has overcome far greater challenges than this one.
Like what?
We have overcome division.
No, you haven't. You've
We
created.
have overcome conflict. We have overcome injustice. We will overcome this challenge too.
He's living in a fantasy world.
Let us do so not through fear, anger, hatred, or violence, but through unity, determination, and respect for the law. Let us continue to build a South Africa that is secure, lawful, compassionate, and prosperous.
Oh my.
A South Africa in which we expand opportunity, protect people's dignity, all our people, that is.
Car guards, huh?
Fulfill the promise of democracy for all.
Oh, is he gone? Is that it? Is that the end? Is he done? Wow. Did that just end it? Wow, is it over?
Speechless. What did he say?
Or is that it? Is that the end of it? Wow, it just cut off like that. Let me see if SABC's on. Let me see. SABC. Yeah, it's over. It just ended like that. Just like that, it ended. Wow. Wow, they just cut him off. Has there been a coup in South Africa? Did it just cut him off? Wow. That's crazy. Hang on a second. I'll get back on the screen here. Wow, that just ended like that. Just like boom, 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 boom. It's just over. That's crazy. I mean, that's what the hell's going on there. All right, let's get to it. Let's do some analysis of what Cyril Ramaphosa had to say there. That was pretty amazing. So I am not going to let the ANC get away with this bullshit. They are going to be called out on this. Yeah, this is going to be called out. Yeah, it was pre-recorded. You're right. It was pre-recorded. That wasn't live. That was not live. That looked to be pre-recorded. Yep, you are 100% correct in that assessment. 100% correct. That looks like that was pre-recorded. Couldn't even do it live. Wow, that's pathetic. All right, so let's get to it. So here's some of the analysis, some of the things he said. First off, it's comical to listen to this guy, the things he says here. He said that we are committed to lawful entry of our country. Our immigration laws must be respected. Business must be able to compete fairly. Businesses must be safe and secure. And the ANC is committed to human dignity. I say the ANC because the Government of National Unity has no say in any of these issues. It's all handled by the ANC. He said there will be a crackdown, and he depicted immigration. There will be dedicated immigration courts, really dedicated immigration courts. You can't even get dockets before judges now in the courts. People have to wait 7 years to convict murderers who tortured their family members and snuff their lives out before they even go to court. We're still waiting for Jacob Zuma to face trial for the arms scandal. He was charged in 2003, 23 years ago. You can't even execute criminal trials. How are you going to execute immigration courts? This is bullshit. There'll be no immigration courts. This is a fantasy. He claims that there were 450,000 apprehensions of illegals in the past year. Really? I'd really like to see where those were. The South African Police Service, the Home Affairs, and Employment Labor will be increasing inspections targeting those who hire illegals, which translates into SAPS, Home Affairs, and Employment Labor will be increasing inspections of businesses to take bribes so they don't get put on a list of people hiring illegals. That's what that means. He said we're recruiting 10,000 inspectors this year. And who's paying for those 10,000 inspectors? That's just absolute insanity. 10,000 inspectors. You are smoking crack cocaine. Cyril Ramaphosa is living in a delusional world. He thinks he's in Washington. He can just wave a wand and things will happen. It doesn't work that way. He says they'll increase penalties for hiring illegals, including prison time, given that most of the people that are hiring illegals are either people hiring domestics or cater businesses. I'd be surprised to see that actually get employed. The transport sector, logistics, and freight industry will be involved. Huh. They're going to secure the borders of South Africa. Secure the borders. Now, this is a very telling line. For the 1,000 people that are currently here, listen to this very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this. Secure borders are not a sign of hostility towards other countries, but rather a sign of a sovereign and well-governed state. Remember that phrase. The next time that the scumbag South African ANC politicians accuse Trump of being a racist for closing our borders to illegal migration. Secure borders are not a sign of hostility towards other countries. Rather, they are a sign of a sovereign and well-governed state. Quote, Cyril Ramaphosa, 7 June 2026. He's going to talk about the phased relocation relocation centers that are in Pretoria and Joburg up to the border, like at Bite Bridge, instead of being down near the capital. He's going to strengthen the immigration system by stamping out corruption. Pala Pala! Can you say Pala Pala? The guy has zero credibility. Zero credibility. He's going to stamp out corruptions. Are you serious? Cyril Ramaphosa is going to stamp out corruption. Did you hear that? I mean, honestly, look, this just begs for the obvious. I mean, the obvious is, you know what's coming, folks. You know what's coming here. We just cannot help it. We can't help it. We can't help it. We got to start with this. Oh, yeah. Money stuffed in my sofa. We're going to stamp out corruption. Should we start with the office of the presidency? Come on, Cyril. Money stuffed in the sofa.
Money stuffed in my sofa.
A treasure untold. Cyril's got a game ranch. Stories untold. Pala Pala. Ritzy joint. Glimmer and gold. Stay overnight.
Don't you stray.
Couch cushions hide a rainy day.
Pala Pala.
Where the secrets play.
Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala. Don't give it away.
Rainy day. Rainy day. Hey. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. No credibility whatsoever. He's going to stamp out corruption. Aidez-moi. And employ technology. Yeah. What? Okay. What technology you going to employ? Illegal immigration is enabled by corruption. Duh. Do you think we don't know that? We know about officials selling visas, selling passports. Oh, he said populate. Oh, now this is a Trojan horse. And I'll be making a video on this. This is a Trojan horse. This whole illegal immigration is a Trojan horse. You ready for this? Are you ready for this? Here's the Trojan horse. We are going to stop illegal immigration by creating biometric databases of every South African citizen and digital IDs. There you go. The New World Order. That's right. Biometric. They're going to steal your biometric data and keep it in a database. This is a Trojan horse to digital IDs and biometric databases. That's what this is all about. They're going to do away with the green books for IDs, and they've been saying that for 10 years. In the next 3 months, there'll be new rules on forms of identification that can be accepted. Really? 3 months. Why didn't you have that 30 years ago? Spaza Shop Fund. What is the Spaza Shop Fund? Do you get money to start a Spaza Shop? I want my Spaza Shop money. I want to start a Spaza Shop. Can I get mine? Can I get my Spaza Shop money? Seriously? Wow. They're going to register tuck and spaza shops, basically eliminating the informal sector. How well do you think that's going to go? What's a spaza shop? Oh, Faithful Farmer. These are little informal businesses that sell goods and, groceries and things like that on the side of the road. They're called tuck shops because they're tucked in a corner, or a spaza shop where they have things. So that's what those are. So, yeah. So they're going to register tuck shops and spaza shops. Yeah, give me a break. Yeah, the spaza shop story floored me too, Big Fish. Yeah, they're going to basically try to remove the informal sector. That is not going to work. This is Africa. You can't remove the informal sector. Without the informal sector, Ghana, Nigeria, West Africa, Central Africa would collapse. The informal sector is what keeps the economy humming. In some parts of Africa, the informal sector is 80% of the economy. South Africa can't do it alone. That's true. He's going to rely on SADC, the African Union, and bilateral relations to seek sustainable means to achieve the goals he wants. by sending his envoys all over to sister countries in Africa. He says, they're not going to allow anyone to exploit this problem to destabilize our country. Now, this is a threat to March and March, Operation Dudela, who've been ignored and allowed to run around the country with their xenophobic attacks on people at will. Now they're being threatened. So if you are with Dudela or you're with March and March, you should be cognizant of the fact that your social media are being illegally, surreptitiously watched by South African security services so they can come after you. But I don't think they're going to do it. He said, we are ready to act to protect public safety and safeguard critical infrastructure. Are you serious? Are you serious? Do you remember July 2021, Cyril? Do you remember that? Is that a distant memory? After Zuma was convicted in the Constitutional Court, and your crime intelligence, your military intelligence, your national intelligence, your SAPs, your military, your presidential staff, your cabinet, completely oblivious to the fact that the country was about to go up in flames? You're ready to protect public with what? What are you going to protect public infrastructure with? Public safety. Water cannons? They're all in the Western Cape to harass the white and brown people. They weren't in Durban. They weren't in Phoenix. They weren't in Chatsworth. They weren't there to protect the citizens there. No, they're all in the Western Cape to harass the brown and white people. How are you going to do this? Do you have ammunition in place? Do you have rubber bullets in place? Do you have rations in place? Do you have vehicles in place? Do you have zip ties in place? Do you have vehicles to take people away? Do you have holding areas? No. No rehearsals, no preparation, nothing whatsoever. You're going to protect public safety. Bogus lie. And safeguard critical infrastructure. What's critical infrastructure? Your residence? Pala Pala? Is that the critical infrastructure you're going to protect? Give me a break. He said we must end illegal immigration and deal with the social and economic challenges posed by it. But when Donald Trump ends illegal immigration to America, your foreign minister, Ronnie Lamola, calls him a white supremacist. Your ambassador to Washington calls him the leader of a global white supremacist movement that seeks to keep America white. So we can't end illegal immigration, but you can. We're racist when we do it, but you are just securing South Africa. Do you see the hypocrisy? If you had taken that speech and taken out South Africa and put USA in there and put Donald Trump up on the stage, I wish I had the AI to generate it, you would see the widespread racist condemnation of Donald Trump for saying the exact same words that Cyril Ramaphosa just said. The exact same words. The exact same words. He would be called a racist. Oh, we would do that. Trump's a racist. He just wants to keep all the black people out. He wants to keep all the black people out. Vimpy, what are you doing? Give me a super chat, man. I was joking earlier. Jeez. Vimpy Cohn just gave $100 super chat. Thank you, Vimpy. Oh my gosh, now I feel guilty. You didn't have to do that. I was teasing you earlier. I think you did it. I think you did it for effect. Yeah, this is absolutely insane. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my comment about Cyril Ramaphosa's speech. A hypocrisy speech. One that is bogus and nothing will come of it. You ready for this? This is what I have to say about his speech. Seriously. Seriously. Thank you, Vimpy. Seriously. You get a salute for that one, $100. My goodness. So Ramaphosa just said exactly, if that had been Donald Trump saying that, ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you right now, the machine would already be generating the air raid siren right now. Donald Trump is a white supremacist and a racist. Donald Trump just said the following: secure borders are not a sign of hostility towards other countries, but rather a sign of a sovereign and well-governed state. Racist, racist. But Ramaphosa could say that. He could say that. Really? You see, this is where common sense comes into play. Most of what Ramaphosa said, other than these promises that are never going to be fulfilled about immigration courts and crackdowns and corruption, the rest of it was all legit. He's right. You must respect the laws of a sovereign state. You cannot enter a state and do these things. You undermine labor, you undermine wages, you undermine public safety, you undermine construction standards, you put pressure on housing and public services that are unwarranted because you've come there illegitimately and beyond the means of a state to absorb you. He's right. But the problem is that when Trump does it, his staff, his cabinet members call Trump a racist. His ambassadors call Trump a racist. Wow. And this threat to those out there: we will not allow anyone to exploit this problem to destabilize our country. Really? thousands of Americans being murdered or killed in traffic accidents by illegal immigrants in this country. And when we try to stop that, we are racist. So when we try to stop people from destabilizing our country, Chinese spies, Iranian terrorists, illegals stealing Social Security numbers, undermining the workplace, lowering wages, bringing pestilence in this country, we are racist because they're too ignorant to see the truth. They don't mind America being flooded with illegals. They just don't want South Africa flooded with illegals. But they don't care about the illegals in South Africa until it became such a large political concern. Now they have to take action. Now they have to take action, finally. Wow, this is rich beyond belief. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. This is, Ramaphosa, this is just, I mean, if it wasn't so sad, it would be hilarious. Eugene Rue, you love the way Colonel says deuce. Yeah, well, I do say it, that's for sure. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, seriously. He said, we are ready to act to protect public safety and safeguard critical infrastructure. Where were you in July of 2021? Where were you, Cyril? You ignored what was happening in KwaZulu-Natal and then in Gauteng for 8 days. 8 days, you ignored it. 4 days, you said nothing about it. It was 8 days later you finally took action. Wow. We must end illegal immigration and deal with the social and economic challenges posed by it, Cyril Ramaphosa had to say. Really? He said, we reject the notion that we must tolerate illegal immigration. Well, we also reject it, but you call us names when we reject it. So the hypocrisy is off the charts. It's shocking to say how hypocritical the ANC is, how hypocritical Ramaphosa is. It's just a joke. 700 people here, only 350 likes. Could some of you please hit the like button? You don't have to like Ramaphosa, but you like the fact that I've taken time out of my day to bring you this broadcast and give you analysis of it and point out the hypocrisy of the Ramaphosa. Please hit the like button. Come on, if you just forgot about it, it does drive viewership. It will bring people to the program. We could really use some more help right here now. The nose grows longer with each speech. Exactly. In the end, he's going to say, God bless South Africa. Yep. He has got nothing to act on. He's an empty drum. They have no shame. No, they have no shame whatsoever. Water just tanked in Josie. What's that mean? Blame the people. They buy from these spaza shops. Stop supporting and stop employing them. Yep. Debbie says he's a black supremacist. That is because only white people can be racist, not them. What's next? A social credit score. Ladies and gentlemen, I've hit this on the head. Many of you caught that as he said it, as I did. I typed it right as he said it. I was like shocked that he said this, but this is the Trojan horse. The Trojan horse, ladies and gentlemen, that's what it's all about. This is not about securing your borders. This is about registering all the citizens so they can use the data against you. That's what it's all about. Population registration with biometric info on all citizens and digital IDs. Woo! That is a frightening prospect. That should have gotten everyone's attention. That is... Now, let's see if News 24, if Times Live, the Daily Maverick, IOL, if any of them bother to report population registration with biometric info on all citizens and digital IDs. Let's see if that happens. Thank you, Dion Funsale, for subscribing. Let's see if that happens. Don't hold your breath because the media are corrupt. They're a part of this. They're absolutely part of this. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And then the Spaza Shop Fund. What is a Spaza Shop Fund? Does anybody know what that is? I don't recall that being mentioned in the State of the Nation address. Wow. Spaza Shop Fund. That one caught me off guard. Wasn't expecting it. Let me save this before I lose this really quickly here. Cyril remarks. Cyril's remarks. 7 June. By the way, folks, I'm traveling to Atlanta and to Greenville, South Carolina this coming weekend on Friday to do a meet and greet. One in Decatur, Georgia on Friday, one in Greenville, South Carolina on Saturday. Interviews with people in Decatur, Greenville, and then down to Monroe, and also interviewing Neil Diamond on Monday that week. So some stupid can be ID by the shape of their nose. Yeah. We just have to stay safe and out of the way coming June 30th. Yeah, exactly. D. Morugas says, thank you for standing up for us innocent people in this crumbling South Africa. No peace, no order so far. Yep. Leander agrees with T-shirt. Can you make a video about digital? Oh, I will. Really? Yeah. I mean, this has got to end. I got to finish this broadcast, and then I'll make a video about. The digital ID. This is a Trojan horse. Yep. It's a Trojan horse. Yep. Yes, they will use the digital ID against you. You do something to the government. They'll also be able to, within the government, alter it and falsely accuse people of crimes they didn't do. Digital ID allows the government to fabricate evidence if they want to. Now, does that sound like conspiracy theory? It's not. We saw how the Democrats fabricated the Russia collusion narrative against Donald Trump, and it worked. It disrupted the foreign policy and the domestic policy of the country for 3+ years. It tainted a presidency that did nothing wrong. So government will use this data to abuse its citizens. You cannot give power like this to communists. It's unbelievable. You and your husband are not married. Well, quit living in sin, Charlene. The same system they use in China. Social credit scores. Yeah, that's yeah, social credit. Yep. Wow. My whole Sunday's just been filled up by Ramaphosa. Wasn't playing this Spaza shop, another looting fund. Yep. And they're going to love it and say it's good, just blob because it's an election year. Yep. You only possibly get a driver's license. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Henry. You can't get a driver's license. How are they going to get digital IDs? That's a good point. That's a very good point. That is a very good point. They can't even give driver's license. Oh my goodness. How are they going to do that? I mean, honestly, how are they going to do it? That's just ridiculous. Wow. Digital IDs. That's the red herring, folks. That is the red herring. Yep. That is the red herring. Yep. Can't do drivers. But digital IDs are not physical, so if they tie it to biometrics, then they don't need physical IDs. Yep. So how are they going to do it? That's a good question. And this is a government that is incompetent at the most basic of things. So you can't expect them to solve that problem. Looting the nation, all planned the terror camp 60 years ago, says Salazar. Still waiting 6 months for my license. Yep. Can we prosecute right now and put you in jail? Because the banks and big corporations are actually behind it. They get the Department of Home Affairs. Huh? Neil Diamond's birthday is on the same day as you and your twin, says Gavin. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, you're moving very close to totalitarian fascism. That's what you're moving towards. Driver's license due for renewal in August, says Karen. You think the protests will continue? Yes, I do. Until the government shows an ability and a willingness to stop these attacks on foreigners, they'll continue, and they'll continue to get worse. The 30 June thing is something you should be concerned about. You should already be stockpiling water, rations, ammunition, defensive material, brick radios for communications, and having neighborhood watch meetings right now. This should be happening right now. You should be doing this right now, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, in Port Elizabeth, in Gauteng. You should be doing these things right now. If you live in a gated community, don't assume that you're safe behind your gates. You need to have rehearsal because the government isn't doing this. They're not capable or competent enough to protect you. You need to be ready, prepared to protect yourself against what's coming. Now, if it doesn't come, fantastic. But I did predict chaos on June 29th of 2021, and it came to fruition, sadly. I don't know what's going to happen this time. Yeah, toilet paper, that's right, paper towels, water. You need to be stockpiling all this stuff, folks. Hey, Sharon, thank you for 35 Rand. After 23 years, they say you're not married even with a copy of a marriage certificate. That's just ridiculous. They're idiots. Their records are foolish. Water, food, meds, and a way out. Exactly, Vanessa. You also actually have to have an escape route plan, yep. But I wouldn't just run away. Be prepared to, though. Faithful Farmer likes Vimpy Cohn. Okay, cool. Yeah, so glad I applied for the U.S. refugee program, says Stuart Russ. Okay. You think this speech will have any effect on the people for the 30th? No, I think it was meant to frighten them and to put the fear of God into them. He specifically said things about that, but there's no way that it's going to happen. He said the following. He said that we will not allow anyone to exploit this problem to destabilize our country. But that's exactly what's been going on for years, and it's getting to a breaking point now. He said we are ready to act to protect public safety and safeguard critical infrastructure. No, he's not. He's not ready for that. He's not ready for that. Don't delude yourself. That's simply not true. Simply not true. We as tax consultants can't register on behalf of someone. You have to go do biometrics before we can go ahead. I'm not surprised. Been reticent to join AFROMA, but they flew in food and ammo. They tried to deport my mom to the UK with a South African ID. She's been here since she was 1. She's not illegal. It's ridiculous. Saying some leave our whites alone, they are citizens. Well, that's good to see that some of them are actually doing that, but not all of them are. Gun license had, remember that what happened at the hospital there in KZN when the white South African tried to get in and Operation Dudela blocked the door and refused to allow him entry into a state hospital because he was white and they assumed and claimed he was foreigner, but he's a South African. Yeah, now get ready. Freya says CR is a dog barking because he has no teeth. Well, that may very well be true. He may have no teeth. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. The private security companies flew in the ammo in 2021. Wealthy South Africans flew the ammo in. Yep. What are you talking about? Shots? No one's taking shots. Vimpy's going to the beach. Have fun at the beach, Vimpy. Thank you for the super chat. They burned down your 9-hectare vegetable farm and attacked us almost every night, says Stewart. Yep. The government already has all your info, so calm the F down. If this tender at least gives illegals cards, that's a win. SAP says no way to open case or document. So, Arctic, you're saying that the South African government has biometric data on all 60 million citizens. They have your DNA and your fingerprints. Really? I was unaware of that. That's news to me, that they have your DNA and your fingerprints. How'd they get it? Do they go behind the toilet and collect it from everybody? I don't think it will backfire on the ANC. The white monopoly capital, they'll go along with it. The black monopoly capital, they'll go along with it. Because they win-win-win. It creates new jobs. It's a whole new ecosphere, a whole new environmental ecosphere, a whole new economic ecosphere. Yep. Fingerprints are one thing. DNA is something completely different. DNA is something completely different. You have to give fingerprints to get your ID? What kind of communist country is that? We don't give fingerprints to get our driver's license. Wow, I never heard of such nonsense. Well, I have. Germany does too. Yeah, they don't have your DNA, exactly. But this will allow them to get it. Yeah, the DA is a new tender scam, exactly. Well, what are digital biometrics, Charles? Biometrics include a retinal scan, a fingerprint, DNA. Those are biometrics. Oh, I know your DNA labs are behind. I've covered that, the number of criminal cases that are behind. You get fingerprinted with your first ID. What kind of criminal state is that to fingerprint people? Wow. Yeah, Germany does stink. It used to be nice. We even do fingerprints for driver's license. Wow. Yep. No, we don't do fingerprints for driver's license. There's no fingerprints involved. I didn't do fingerprints for my military ID card. I didn't do fingerprints I don't think I even did it for my passport, to be honest. I don't think I do fingerprints for my passport. But my government has my biometric stuff. They do. For my security clearance, had to give fingerprints. Military has it. To go into the military, had to give fingerprints. Before I went to combat in 1990, the first time, DNA sample, cheek swab. They've had my DNA for 36 years. They've had my fingerprints since 1983. Yep. So that's to go in the military, but that's a voluntary thing. I chose to do that. Yep. I don't get fingerprinted for firearms license here. Nope. Don't do fingerprints for bank accounts. What kind of nonsense is that? Yep. If you have passports, guys, they have your biometrics. SAPs cannot solve crimes because they cannot collect fingerprints. They don't have records of any illegals, so cases get closed unsolved. Wow. Fingerprints for a driver's license and a bank account. That's crazy. Artie says fingerprint the illegals. Don't know about DNA, but definitely biometrics in bank and SASA photos and fingerprints. Yes, have to do biometrics to get ID. Okay, most people have blood work done when they are sick. Easy to get DNA from them. Well, that's true, Lucinda, but that's a very complicated process, and you'd have to assume that that stuff is stored. Given the lack of electricity and the backup generators for many hospitals, I find it hard to believe they store blood samples. It's not normal, Fluffy Navel. It's not normal at all. I don't give fingerprints to get a driver's license. I don't give fingerprints to go to a bank. Fingerprints go to a bank? Well, again, the National Party, what kind of a corrupt system is that? You need fingerprints to get an ID, to get a driver's license. That's ridiculous. Yep. Banks use facial ID as well. Fingerprints and facial ID, so home affairs. You know when I need to go to a bank? Until recently, I didn't even need ID to make a deposit. I could walk into a bank right down the street here, and I could deposit money in anybody's account. I don't need any ID for that. Now, because there's been a surge in money laundering, they've recently required that I show photo ID. So now I have to show photo ID. No fingerprints, no facial recognition, no thumbprint, no retinal scan, no DNA samples. This isn't Gattaca. This is not Gattaca. This is America, not Gattaca. And I can make a deposit. I can cash a check. In fact, my local bank, they don't even ask me for ID because they know who I am. They've established who I am long ago. Yep. Yep, no fingerprints. Now, why is it I can cash money? I can exchange money in South Africa without giving fingerprints. I don't have to give fingerprints to exchange money. When I go to the money changer in South Africa, I can get dollars converted into rand. I don't have to give fingerprints for that. You're not already there, Vanessa. You're not already there. You don't have digital IDs. This is a Trojan horse to issue digital IDs. Well, all ATMs have cameras. All banks have cameras. That's just normal. Doing a backup means shoving the stuff into the long drop. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I know what a long drop is, but yeah. No, you're not already there, Vanessa. I disagree. Your father's a mailman, delivers to your bank. They give him loads of candy and never ask for ID. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. So look, it's a Trojan horse, guys. It's a Trojan horse. They are not going to stop illegal immigration. They're not even going to make an honest effort to try. You guys see this pretty cool gift I got when I was in Florida? Folk stop. There you go. Ooh, it was a gift. It is a Trojan horse. Oh, gotcha. It means another place to drop the money. Yep. Who's repeating himself again? Ramaphosa or me? Right, and they're going to find businesses with illegal employees. It's just going to be a money-making scam. No, Arnie, I agree with you. I think he's just made it worse. The March and March organizers are not going to buy his BS. They're not going to fall for it. They're not going to fall for it. Yep. Did you guys see? Let me see if I downloaded this. I think I have this recently. This gentleman. Let me see if I find it here very quickly. I'm going to look for it. It was a couple of days ago. I saw this online. There it is. In Shikane.
We conduct and you conduct those operations. After conducting those operations, those people you are saying they are documented, they are not supposed to be even documented at the very same time. Their asylum say they are here to study, but they're owning shops. Yes. They're asylums. I was there. I'm the one person who's always there when there is these operations. I was arrested for fighting the injustices of the very same South African system. The very same thing that you are telling us. These people who are running these businesses, they are not even supposed to be running those businesses. Let me ask you a simple question. According to the immigration law, you have to have 5 million for you to run a business. Are you telling me these tuck shops, each and every person that owns a tuck shop, a spaza shop, they actually have 5 million? No, it's because it's an organized syndicate of Ethiopians, Pakistanis, and Bangladeshis and Ethiopians. Now, the problem is that you as police, you interdict us as activists so that we cannot fight for these people. This is the problem we have with you, because you are interdicting us so that you can continue with your corruption. I can attest to that, because I've always worked with all the operations that are happening around South Africa. I'm always there. But the problem we have is that even in Tanota, those people are not supposed to be running those puzzle shops. Panama Asalamo by Ashuti, they are here to study. Maruna una 65 umuntu wakona. Uzofunda una 65. I got to look at South Africa. All these shops are
Yeah, he's right. He's 100% correct. And this is the problem. He's calm, but the rest aren't going to be calm. Look at all those people gathered around who are angry. Now, they're blaming foreigners, and they're wrong to blame foreigners. The proximate cause of South Africa's economic misery is the African National Congress, its failed macroeconomic policies, its racist BEE programs, and its corruption. Those are the reasons that South Africa is in the bind that it's in. That's why economic growth is stagnated at less than 1% per annum. That is why the population continues to grow. That is why people are suffering. Not because of illegals. Now, illegals should not be there, and this should be regulated, and this should be controlled. And South Africa is a sovereign state and has a right to kick people out who enter the country illegally. And they have an obligation to do so. He is right about all that. But the proximate cause is not the illegals. It's the lack of enforcement by the South African government, who looks the other way because there's money to be made. That's why. That's the bottom line. This is what this is all about. The gentleman's correct, but the symptom is what he's addressing, not the root cause. The proximate cause of South Africa's misery is not illegal immigration. The proximate cause of South Africa's misery is the ANC. America's proximate cause of misery is not the failed policies of Washington, because the economy is growing. The economy is surging. People have jobs. Gross per capita income is skyrocketing in this country. But illegals undermine public safety. They undermine health and awareness. They put pressure on the housing market. All of this pushes up cost and drives inflation, among many other knock-on effects. And all we ever hear is that diversity makes us stronger. That is a bumper sticker. It means nothing. Diversity means nothing if diversity doesn't lead to assimilation. It is government failure. Government failure. $300,000. Yep, that's what 5 million rand is. A few months ago, the same people said white people are immigrants as well. Exactly. Well, Stuart, that's the point I'm making. That's the point. I just talked about the situation at the hospital there where it occurred. Yep, that's exactly what I said. Yep, that's exactly what I said. Looks like Ronaldo didn't send anybody over here. He finished his thing and didn't send people here. Well, shame. We didn't gain anybody from that. So did we gain any subscribers today? Maybe a couple, let's say. A few. Appreciate that. All right. Yep. Root cause is nationals let these terrorists hide in Zimbabwe and didn't hunt and destroy them. Diversity doesn't pay taxes yet. 1,000 lined up for new yellow t-shirts. It boggles my mind. Oh, for the ANC's t-shirts. Ivan Bennett says, how rude. What are you referring to? What are you referring to? What is rude? Oh, you mean Ronaldo. Ronaldo's not still alive, is he? Is Ronaldo still alive? Well, Ronaldo has no obligation. I'm just saying he didn't do it. Usually sends people over here. But I don't have him listed as live. Let me go to Ronaldo's channel. Whoa, who's that? That's interesting. Let me go to Ronaldo's channel. Is he still alive? He is still alive. Well, no wonder he hasn't sent anybody over here. He's still alive.
Come to this live stream and you'll see it's pinned over there in the chat. Become a member. Get behind the Freedom Front Plus. Stop falling for the bullshit narrative that we are racist and we want to bring apartheid.
Oh, you're talking about the conversation
being the cockest excuse.
I'm just leaving a little note for him. Yeah, no, well, that's because it was pre-recorded. We don't think that was live. Magician has a hat out, and a hat he draws bunnies. The moment the bunny is called illegal foreigners, and what that does not solve our woes. Guess what? Who takes center stage? Yep. Spectacular fail. Ramaphosa had the audacity to say in a previous speech that the international community admires South Africa's constitution. Yeah, he's crazy. He's crazy. Jack Russell's bark is the loudest bark in the block. But no balls. If you go sit in court, you find cases where they deport illegals, but the same person you find back at the airport. There's so much corruption. The ANC makes money. Yep. Jordan Hill Lewis' argument, this is DA's failure as, let me see.
Principles again, and we need to stop and then just look at the track record over the last 2 years. And if you are still voting,
Dylan's over watching Ronaldo. He's not here. I got you, Dylan. You said hello to me. He's over there. You gotta love Ronaldo, but he's straightforward. Love it, says Jasper. It must have been AI. His nose never grew any longer. I have been seeing so many videos of people instructing foreign Afrikaner settlers to go home. I can say that to my face. Yeah, I'm with you, Safa Dreams. Hey, Francois Farrell, what's going on? Anyway, so is Ronaldo wrapping up?
So Ramaphosa, thanks for wasting our time.
No, he didn't waste our time. He told us about the Trojan horse that the ANC has. He told us about the Trojan horse. He didn't waste our time. We made good use of that time. So I'll be doing a Ruffy Cafe Clutch at 2 p.m., which is in less than an hour from now. So I should probably, since Ronaldo's ending, not direct you towards Ronaldo, but direct you towards my stream. They go back and change that now because I thought I'd be done by now. So I'm going to redirect you to the Cafe Clutch, which I had not done. Tomorrow I have Professor William Gumeda. This is going to be very timely to talk to him. That will be fascinating tomorrow at 4:30 South Africa time at 10:30 my time. Yep. All right. So cool beans. Let me see.
Shameless plug. I need 12 subs for 2,000. All right. Can I ask Recon 1? Post your link.
Oh, okay. He's pimping for Recon 1. I don't know who Recon 1 is. Keeps talking about that guy. Anyway, see, the only time a bank takes your fingerprints is when you open a new account. Desmond Diaz, welcome to you. Very informative stream. Thank you for that, Karen. Need a dope. Snippets needs a dope. Okay, well, that's interesting. Can we get to 8,000 views before we wrap up? I voted Freedom Front Plus, says Valerie. Okay. Yeah, so let me just cover a couple of points again here, very important, that are, I think, comical. Number one, he was meant to be a message to threaten those who are formulating March and Operation Due Diligence. He said, we will not allow anyone to exploit this problem to destabilize our country. Okay? That's a bold statement. He also said, we're ready to act to protect public safety and safeguard critical infrastructure. Well, the South African government can't even identify critical infrastructure successfully, so how are they going to protect it? And they couldn't protect people in July of 2021. How are they going to do it now? They failed to prepare. They ignored the looming threat. I warned the government of South Africa in June 29th that this was going to happen in 2021, and they ignored it. They ignored it. And I think they ignored it intentionally because it was an internal insurrection within the African National Congress. I think that's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. It was an internal insurrection within the African National Congress, and they were split over what to do. And people intentionally slow-rolled things. People intentionally held information back. People intentionally clogged the machinery of government by not doing things or by actively intervening to prevent the government from reacting to things. That's the bottom line. I think that's what happened. That is the bottom line. And so that's what happened in 2021. And he says we are ready to act to protect public infrastructure, public safety, and safeguard critical infrastructure. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And the other key thing he talked about was this digital ID, population register. So fingerprints are one thing. That's a database. DNA is another thing. That's a database. But a population register, you're going to register who's a citizen. That's a pretty frightening process. If you don't require government services or travel abroad, why should you be registered? Your birth is already registered. Why do you need a public registry except to hunt people down, to use it against people? Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Not going to hold my breath on that one, folks. Not going to hold my breath on that. He said, we reject the notion that we must tolerate illegal immigration. Really? But you don't let Trump do that. You don't let Trump do that. Wow. The things he said, if Donald Trump said it, they would be calling Trump a racist. Wow. Unbelievable. And I think the most telling statement here is that secure borders are not a sign of hostility towards other countries, rather a sign of a sovereign and well-governed state. Really? That's not what Ronnie Lamola says about Donald Trump. And that's not what you say about Donald Trump. I don't know what Trump knows about South Africa, but he can keep his America and we'll keep our South Africa. Remember that? Trump can keep his America. Well, Cyril, I don't know what you know about America and about illegal immigration, but you can keep your mess and we'll keep our country. Wow. We'll keep our country. You keep your mess to yourself. I mean, seriously. Wow. How the Southern economy has crashed, never before would have the people wasted buying time to listen to nonsense. Yeah, the only critical structure here seems to be worried about is Pala Pala couch. Yep. Yep. Anyway. What's this? What accusations against me? What did Varoshka say? I'm missing something here. I missed something there. I don't know what it was. It doesn't show up in my chat. Break sharp when people leave South Africa, but the writing is painted in neon paint on the wall. Yeah, you're right about that. It's definitely the case. Definitely the case. Yep. Secure borders are not a sign of hostility towards other countries, but rather a sign of a sovereign and well-governed state. Oh, thank you, Safa. Yeah, well, no, I'm not endangering their safety. They are the ones who said those things. They posted those things in the public forum. I didn't invent anything. They posted in the public forum. I didn't reveal their names. They did. So they're the ones doing it themselves. See, this is what happens. These are part of the ferrayas out there. These are the same people like the lunatic who falsely claimed that I wrote a song about the raid on Woodmead about her. Yep, same people, of the same cloth. I'm for the SAVE Act, but that doesn't require biometric data. That requires registration to vote. Vote is a voluntary thing. That's to vote. You want to vote, you register. Very different. No, well, what they're doing is committing crimina injuria. They're committing another criminal offense. See, Safa Dreams, what they're doing is committing yet another criminal offense. And I know attorneys and stuff. I don't know why people don't get this. What they've just done is slander. They've committed slander. And all I did was simply list the chats that were publicly posted by that gentleman. So they're digging their own graves here. I tried to help them. They don't listen, and it was him, but now it's both of them. It's pretty obvious that they're ferrayas whose intent was to poison the chat by whining about their situation and not disclosing the full situation. Yeah, that's why certain people should wear signs, you know. Martin says, please write a song for me. Yeah. Yeah, she's a threat to her own life. They're running their mouths. Again, they're the ones that are jeopardizing their status, not me. They're the ones that continue to ignore the reality that your social media content, we told you this from the beginning. I said it's likely they're going to look at your social media. And then it came out, it says right there, your social media is part of your adjudication. It's part of the investigation. And what you say and do online impacts whether you become a refugee or not. People don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. They want to do their own thing. The guy writes anti-Semitic things in my chat. I did him a favor by deleting it, and then he lies about it. You know, whatever the case is, even if everything he says is true and it was all misunderstood, misconstrued, it doesn't change the fact that the two of them come into the chat and whine and moan and piss and complain about everything and ruin the chat for everybody else, all about me, 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 me. And I asked them not to do it repeatedly, and they refused. Went on for months, and then they took themselves out. Neither one of them is blocked on the channel. There he is. Please read what I said. Well, then why is your wife going on and slandering me, Cool Beans? You want to answer that question? I'll give you a chance to answer that question right now. Why is your wife going on X and slandering me? I didn't endanger your life. You're doing it by not listening. I did you all a favor. See? You told me you're unsubscribed to my channel. That was a lie. Obviously you're not, or you wouldn't be able to chat. All right? See? It says a lot. I warned you. I tried to tell you that people are watching chat, but I'm the one to blame because you post things in chat. You know, anyway. So I tried to help you guys. I tried to help you. So tell me why your wife is now slandering me on X. Anyone got a solution for that? Exactly. This is a DA failure by Jordan Hill Lewis's argument. Is immigration legal or it falls under? Harry, that's an interesting perspective, Harry Muir. Thank you for that. It's telling when banks in South Africa have stopped investing locally and are buying up banks in the rest of Africa. They have given up. Yeah, I think that's a good statement there. 127754B. Hey, look, it's our first digital ID. It's our first digital ID. It's 127754 Bravo. We got our first digital ID right here for South Africa. Thank you for the super chat. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. If the Netherlands, Germany, and France had any decency, they would give Afrikaners a right to return like Israel has with Jews. Well, they're not going to do that. The German government would prefer to allow foreign Pakistanis and Iranians and Syrians to flood the country and collect Kindergeld with their 17 children than let ethnic Germans return to the country. Yep. That's not entirely true, though. We know that, for instance, Van der Stolz has a German passport, even though he was born in South Africa and his grandfather came from Germany. So he was able to get a German passport. But he's here in America now. Anyway, all right. You have one hell of a cheek coming into the open, really, after what you said about the colonel. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, companies also sit in cash. Well, that was one of the problems in America because the corporate tax rate was so high. South Africa's became a communist version of 1984. Well, that's hard to argue against. Jasper Milan and Veroshka. Why is everybody laughing? What did I say? Oh, because of the digital ID. We have our first digital ID. Oh, my goodness. Anyway. All right. Guys. This was interesting, and it preempted the news for today. And, you know, not much happening in the world, although I could have dug up a bunch of stories. But this Cyril Ramaphosa story, I think, is key. I need to make a video about this briefly and explain to people a little bit of analysis about what he said. Hopefully that will get some attention and some views. You had to flee to Germany and I'm still struggling. Yep. Hey, Freya, how's it going? Exactly. Thank you, Harry Mirror. You just said what I'm trying to get. Digital ID enables tracking and social scores. Exactly. And also allows them to shut the pumps off. Exactly. Making a note for myself there. Yeah, it allows, that's the thing. You guys keep saying that they have our data, but they don't have digital ID. A digital ID will allow them to track every one of your movements and use it against you. It will also allow them to give you social credit scores when you don't do things that the politicians of the day want you to do. So for instance, if you go to the petrol pump, your digital ID, it will be implemented. You'll have to show that you're buying petrol there at that place in that time. This is Big Brother. This isn't to facilitate safety or harmonization. It's to track people and control them like sheep. It's like putting a tag in your ear for cattle. That's the purpose of it. And that seems to be missing people. Thank you very much, Mr. Mirror, for putting that. I think it was Mirror put that in there. I think it was Mirror. Let me see. It was Mirror. Who put that in there? Harry Mirror. Thank you. For every one English person employed in the UK, 27 immigrants are employed. I don't know if that's true. Sadly, they're still self-hating. If you ask me, the cool ones went to the colonies and the lame ones stay behind. Listen to that word salad of speech, which basically blame business for hiring illegals and implement social credits. Exactly. Research on that confirmed Mozambique would demolish us if there would be a hypothetical war. That's interesting. I don't know about that. Botswana would. And Magog, thank you for 14 Rand. It's not even $1. No, it's not $1, but thank you. They do. They just do corrupt to connect the dots. Do you want to hear a bad joke? Digital nose rings, complete control. Yep. All right. And that is Rodney Smith. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. All right, folks. We're approaching 9,000 views on this stream. Thank you for that. China also shoots corrupt politicians. Not happening in Africa anytime soon. Well, Africans murder politicians all the time. Look at KZN and the ANC. Look at Ghana and when they overthrew the government and they lined up the ministers on the beach at the Barclay Training Center and assassinated them, shot them all, killed 16 public officials, no trials, just kangaroo courts, and murdered them. Yeah, no, they do that. Tiki, don't run off. We've got a refugee cafe clutch coming up at the top of the next hour, so you're welcome to join us for that. Anyway, we must end illegal immigration and deal with the social and economic challenges posed by it, says Cyril Ramaphosa. Well, I don't disagree. But the problem is that he's not serious about it. He is not serious about it. Lynn says, Vimpy Cone, thanks. Okay. Jasper says, thank you, everybody else, and have a good night. Okay. Well, everybody's going to bed now. What are you guys, 75 years old? It's only 7 p.m. in South Africa. Do you know where your children are? You're going to bed? Come on, man. Who's going to bed at 7 o'clock? All right. That's going to do it. We're going to wrap it up here. We'll be back with the Cafe Clutch in 43 minutes. Please join us then, okay? Yep. All right. Written the lyrics and the aspirate song. Yeah, you can send it to me, Jacques. That's fine. I'll see if just let me know how you send it. If it's in an email, mention in the subject line about that. If it's in a WhatsApp, then it'll be easier for me to find. All right, folks, thanks for being here. We'll see you shortly for the other program, the Cafe Clutch. We'll talk about the refugee numbers, what it portends, what can happen the rest of the year, and we'll answer questions as best we can, okay? Try to keep my tolerance and patience with folks on that who ask the same question over again. All right? Cheers, everybody. We'll see you shortly.